Good morning, everybody. We're back, day 2 moto vlog on my way to work in this beautiful foggy day. That's New Jersey for you guys. Starting to get warm, but warm days only meaning fog and humid and nasty. But that's my state, and I love it. And we're riding to work now, so let's make this channel interesting and let's talk about relatable stuff. I'm gonna stick to Harleys for a little bit, then I'll start jumping around. Again, this is a 2018 Street Glide. I am a 5'4", 155 pound male. The bike, it's not too bad actually for somebody my size and weight. So if you're looking, for a big twin cruiser and the height is an issue, just remember, it's all practice. It's all practice. If well, just like I did when I got this bike, I definitely thought I was gonna struggle, but on my way home, getting the dealer to give me the bike was a bit tough. So it was a tough negotiation day. It lasted a long time actually, and I ended up getting out of the dealership like at 10 p.m. They were already closed and they were still working on my deal, but none of us gave in, and finally I broke them, or so I think. So anyways, I'm driving this big ass monster back home at like 10 p.m. in New Jersey, where it's dark, and I'm fucking scared shitless because I don't have experience riding these bikes, but I have experience riding other bikes, which in theory it should be about the same. And the biggest thing that threw me off was when the bike is upright and going. I can even say that it's a nimble or even more than a sport bike. But when it comes to a stop or you're slowing down, that's where I think most people definitely have a problem. And it was good advice from the guy that took me on my test ride. He said, at first, try to avoid your front brake, because that's where I think that's where everybody fails. On a big Harley, you come to a stop, you hit your front brake, and all the weight literally goes forward. And it's not, you don't think it's a big deal till you actually sit on one and you do it. And that's usually where people tip their bikes and just kind of fall over. Which again, if that's one of your fears, let me tell you that if you tip this bike over, it doesn't really go too far. It just kind of tips at a I don't say like a 70-degree angle. So the bike's not gonna just squash you. It's not that bad. I think the saddlebags and the crash rails just kind of keep the bike at a fairly decent angle. So yeah, I was riding home, and my GPS was acting up, of course. I wasn't too familiar with the area where the dealership was located, and I had to stop a couple times, and every time I stopped, man, my little legs were wobbling, the bike was stumbling, but just took it back to basics. I remembered what the salesman said, and another big thing is you know, just take it easy when you go to a stop or you hit your brakes. Don't fucking smash the, you know, the brakes. Just, you know, ease into it, and the bike will slowly stop, and you'll have control. You know, it's all about, you know, keeping cool and not being nervous. So, as I mentioned in my previous video, I am a big fan of practice, and seat time. So, as I mentioned, my wife also likes to ride with me, so I knew that having an extra passenger, you know, it would be a little bit different, more weight. I knew I had to maneuver something. It was going to maneuver different, and so immediately, as soon as I got it, the, you know, next couple of days, I went out riding, started practicing on you know, on a lot by my house, doing just circles and circles and circles, you know, both right and left, and you know, slow turns, just so that I could get familiar with the weight distribution on the bike. And I picked it up really easy. And like I said, with my height, I don't know, I guess people thought I was gonna have an issue, or, you know, sometimes some of my coworkers will see me get on my bike, and every now and then I'll tippy toe, or I'll have a hard time trying to reach the freaking kickstand, because I don't know why, but the fucking kickstand on these bikes are a little bit farther away, you know, and they'll pick on me. But I always challenge everybody, get on my bike and ride it away, and if you can do it, you can make fun of me, and, you know, I'll laugh with you. But till then, I ride the big ass Harley, and I ride it like a fucking sport bike, and you don't know how to do that. So guys, it's all about practice. I've never dropped this bike, fortunately. I'm not gonna pretend would, but you know, if I did, it's not a big deal. Get up, pick it up, and keep going. Always remember to be positive, and you know, a lot of accidents on motorcycles are because we did something wrong. The bikes do what we tell them to do, and sometimes when we're not comfortable, we'll make a like a dumb move, and, you know, we go down. So just keep that in mind. Be positive, get up, dust off, breathe, and keep going. Learn from your mistakes. Now, as far as lowering the bike, I don't necessarily suggest that. Learn unless you're extremely short, or you literally can't reach the ground, then at that point I would say try to find something different. I know that tippy toe sounds scary, but I learn on my tippy toes. I'm short, and you just have to learn how to ride it like that. One thing that I told my wife is, you know, being short, we always have to figure it out. We have to be smart. I'm not gonna ride this bike and park it on a, you know, forward slope where I know I have to back it up, because that's just not gonna happen. When I'm riding with my wife, she often, you know, has to push the bike and well, help me back it up or something, and that's okay. You know, it is what it is. But when I'm by myself, when she's by herself, I always tell her, you know, just be smart about what you do. When you park, find an area where you're gonna be able to get out easily, where you don't have to push it, or, you know, where you don't have to struggle, because the height definitely, you know, comes into play there. And if you're in, you know, your tippy toes and trying to yeah, maneuver or back up the bike, sometimes that's when you're gonna go down. So just always